Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the first series where we are starting with the core engineering track as a part of IIT Bombay Alumni Association Bangalore chapter. The intent of this track is basically it's based upon 4 pillars. Where I say 4 pillars, so first of thing is that this is intended to do a knowledge sharing among the core people who are practitioners of the core engineering, collaboration and networking among the people who are in the similar domain of be it engineering, could be in the manufacturing field, oil and gas field, consultancy, but related to engineering. Another pillar that we had in mind was connecting back with the alma mater. So what projects can we go back to our respective IITs or other institutes from wherever we have done our graduation, post-graduation, and also coming up with a platform where we're able to provide mentorship to the young engineers. At times we have seen there's a drop in young engineers taking into core engineering and going into other fields. So there's nothing wrong in doing something else. But if we, based on the experience, collective experience of the group we have, if we could guide and mentor students to show them the potential of staying in the core engineering field, that would be something we would do going forward, and we would share details as we mature this particular group. So today is the first one where we are launching this core engineering talk series. And here our intent is to invite some of the distinguished people in their fields and learn something from them, how they have worked over the years in engineering, and not just doing engineering, but how they have managed the team, built up the team, what has worked well for them, what has not. So in that one, starting with today, we have got Mr. Suresh Naik with us in the call. He is an alumni from IIT Kharagpur. He has worked with TIFR and currently is working in the management of ISRO as one of the managers for managing a team there. And with that, I would like to pass it on to Mr. Suresh Naik to share some of the mantras that would be beneficial for us in the call here.
Hi everyone. So nice explanation by Mr. Ali about me. Having worked in ISRO for more than 25 years, plus another 5 years with Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Mumbai, in Space Physics Division. And both the positions I was somehow attached to space science, space electronics, space research. Now, I will not be talking deep into the technology, but I thought of phrasing the presentation as mantras for organizational success, and I have written there few because it's never complete. Now, whatever is there in the presentation is what has come to my mind now, and during the presentation I might add few more. That is one thing. And I always say, whenever I'm presenting some general topics like this, organizational success or people skills or many things, I always say the person who learns most is the person who is presenting. So you know now who is learning the most during this presentation. Now coming to the organizational success, an organization is treated as successful, according to me, only if the people working for that organizations are happy, and at the same time the goals and expectations of the organizations are fulfilled. So it's a win-win situation. You can either call it as an employer and an employee. Both of them should be happy. So that is what I feel. And it's not only in the area of finance. There are many areas of success which the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People books talk about. There are many areas of life. So people should get satisfaction in all the areas of life. So now, having defined success to some extent, let me tell you that what you can expect from this presentation. So, and how I have designed this particular presentation is that I have interacted with some successful organizations nationally and internationally. So based on my experience, this is my personal opinion. It's not, anything to do with ISRO's project and things like that. Yes, I have been involved in many projects of ISRO. A few projects were, what do you call it, brand new projects which ISRO had not tried. And currently I'm working on a project called as MEOSAR for search and rescue. That is also first time ISRO is trying that project. And so based on that, I have listed some of the parameters which makes the organization success. So what you will get out of this, if you're looking for starting up a organization of your own, then startup. Normally they call it as small, but then for the person who is starting, it is big. So you will have some tips on how to start a successful organization. Then create the culture from the beginning itself. It could be interaction culture, or it could be the bureaucratic culture, or the people skills, those things. And then if you already have an organization, then how to maneuver it. See, including the satellites, they go out of the orbit. They drift out of the orbit. So every now and then ISRO carries out maneuvers to put back them on track. Similarly, any organization, if it goes little out of track, bring it back. And so you have to have a mechanism to sense that it is off track and then bring it on track. And how to instill people skills. So what are the people skills which we need to instill as an organization and as a person? So I will not be covering as a person what are the people skills, but then few things as an organization head, what we can concentrate on, that I'll be listing. I wrote it as monitoring and control, but then I removed the control and I put it as guiding teams. So nowadays we can't control anything. So it's better I call it as monitoring and guiding the teams so that teams succeed, and in the process the organization succeeds. So the last and the most important, achieve success. And once you are successful, you have a choice whether to become significant or not. So significance is bringing success in others. So don't stop just at being successful. Become significant also. Now, different areas to focus on. I have categorized them as different areas. One is to prepare for it. So I always say preparation. Spectacular presentation is preceded by less spectacular preparation. So preparation takes a lot of efforts and time. Then the people skills. So I need not have to mention that people skills are there. In fact, I would like to narrate a good example. Once I was giving a presentation on people skills, and my daughter asked me, "Why do you think, Papa, you have been assigned the job of talking about people skills?" So I said, maybe I have good amount of people skills. That is why I have been asked to present about this. Then she told me, "No, Papa, you need to learn. That's why you have been asked to present on it, so that you study, learn, and implement few of them." So, you are never complete. Observed by my daughter. So then the persistence. So persistency, consistency, all that matter in the organizational success. So I'll be listing few of them. And then after doing all this, all three P's, preparation, people skills, persistence, you are persistent, still there will be, a lacunae in success. And that is where you have to appreciate the universal facts and then go back to the basics. So start from the beginning. Now, coming to the preparation. See, when you want to establish an organization, there has to be a working mechanism. So I have listed here flexibility versus strict bureaucracy. Over a period of years, what I have realized is strict bureaucracy will not give good results. There has to be flexibility. There has to be flexibility because people should feel that they're working for the organization as responsible people, not as workers. So instead of having strict bureaucracy, have a flexible bureaucracy to the minimum, I would say. Hierarchy, sometimes will help. Maybe in an organization like defense it works, but not all organizations. So I would say hierarchy also keep it to the minimum, and then there has to be openness, but at the same time we should realize there should be 100% accountability. So when you are setting the goal, set the goal little higher than the realistic goal. Realistic, whatever you think it is a realistic goal. So you are basically stretching a little extra more than what you think you are capable of. That is where you build muscles. When you do an exercise, if you're just lifting weights based on your capability, you will not be making muscles. So in order to make muscles, you should go that extra. Then once you're trying to find a solution, as an organization, we should list all the possibilities, brainstorm among the team, and then decide on the best option. Because normally what we do, as soon as a problem knocks at you, you just come up with a solution and start doing it. And after implementing it, you realize that was not the best solution. So that's why what I would say is that you list all the possible solutions and select the best solution. I would say best, it's like this, it should be, one is viable, money wise. Number two, long term also it should be a solution for the same problem. And then future, time wise, everything wise it should be okay. Then only you consider that solution as a solution and start implementing it. Because if your direction is wrong, then you have to come back and start again. So that should not be the situation. So what I have come across in many organizations is that in order the higher ups know about the project, they intervene more frequently. That should not happen. There has to be interaction between the team and the team heads rather than interventions every now and then, which will basically hamper the progress. So intervention, repeatedly asking every day, morning meeting, evening meeting, and where is the time to work? So leave the people to work for some time, but keep interacting with them to see what is the progress and ask them whether they need any help. And then monitoring has to be from suitable experts. So I am stressing that word suitable. Initially, you might select some person based on some criteria, but then when you realize that kind of progress which you are expecting is not coming, then you have to replace the gentleman with a suitable expert. He need not be an expert, suitable person for that particular project. So, and close monitoring has to happen there. So how an organization can achieve good success with the available people is that you have committees at different levels. Maybe a council at the highest level, and then you have committees for the projects, and then subcommittees for the tasks. and then choosing the right personnel for these committees is a good decision, actually. The calculated decision which ultimately taxes you on whether it is success or a failure. Then I have said limited power or an appropriate manpower. We might think that more men will work for men, or more persons will work for work and more work will go on. No, it has to be appropriately decided number, and that number a little less is always better, because you are basically looking for people who get involved a little more, and that's why I said appropriate manpower, size of the manpower. So they always say, if you want to get the work done, give it to a busy person rather than a person who's lazy or who's not working. So that is how limited manpower. Limited means not too less, otherwise you'll be stressing the people. But appropriate manpower is always better. Screen is So anytime a problem is posed, you first think about the people. See, let's say your organization, if your interest is only to make money, you will not be getting good results. Whereas if you intend to provide a particular service to people, in the process you get money, then you are more successful. So I call it as people first, profit follows. Actually, profit will follow, definitely, because your concentration is on the customers or people working for your organization, those aspects. So any big task can be broken up into small. Toughest job becomes easier if you break it into small slices. How do you eat a big elephant? Bite by bite. That is how we could do it. And that is why we have this council, which is handling the bigger, aspect of the dream or the commitment of the organization. And then committees taking care of different areas, and subcommittees taking care of different tasks. So break it. Even space science, if it is broken up into small slices, it is a small task, a cluster of huge number of simple tasks. Most of the time, what happens is we are not able to differentiate what priority we should assign to important versus urgent. Again, I go back to the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he categorizes not urgent, not urgent, urgent, not urgent, important, not important. There, the highest priority should be given to important but not urgent. What really happens in our life is that we are concentrating more on urgent aspects, that important things will remain in the back seat, and tomorrow it becomes urgent. So every day we are working with stress. So that should not happen. And most of the time, the techies or whosoever, now because of COVID, we are under a lot of stress because of this, because we are concentrated more on urgent things, and I will not say neglected, but then they were given a second priority. That is where we are undergoing a lot of stress. Then utilize the expertise before outsourcing. See, why I'm telling that I'm not discouraging outsourcing. See, it's always, delegating is different and outsourcing is different. If the work can be done within the organization, it is always better. If there are experts within the organization, utilize them. Other than, you'll be making two mistakes here. One is that you are not utilizing the internal experts, and at the same time you are paying money for the outsourcing. See, that should not happen. Utilize, and whatever is not whatever is not possible from our side, we'll outsource this, or whatever not effectively possible from our side. If it is a stereotype, you just transfer the technology to some smaller organizations and then let them do that. Then careful budgeting and planning. Anyway, COVID has taught us more about this, and in addition to all this, it has taught us many lessons for life. The things which we were taking it very seriously before COVID, we stopped thinking about them, and real things which we should be worried, we are right now thinking. Most of the organization fail to do this particular part, succession planning. Who is going to be the next boss? Who is going to take over? See, there should always be a next person. See, during this COVID, we all experienced people, used to go on quarantine, and during that period, someone has to take care of his job, and the person, when he retires, someone has to take care. See, that is where organizations suffer. So now coming to the people skills, this is my favorite topic. In fact, I have given a separate presentation about this for more than an hour. So I'll try to do justice here also, but at a short time. So people skills. Coming to the people skills, see, one should know where we are going. It's not only the organization heads who should know where we are going. Every participant in the organization should know what is his goal, what is his commitment, ultimately where he is leading to. Once the destination is known, he will be able to choose a better path and create passion towards the assignment. It could be a very small job, but then passionately doing and doing for the sake of salary at the end of the month, things make a lot of difference. So passion, do it with passion, do it with a smile on your face. It's very easy to say, but then difficult to practice. So you have faith on yourself and belief in others. If you believe that the others can do something for you, then only it happens. But then you should have faith in yourself to create that kind of environment, encouragement, whatever possible from your side. So this I have said personally also, set little above the realistic goals with yourself and at the same time with the team you are heading. Appreciate. That's the greatest gift to others. Recently, I got a message from one of my close friends. It was telling that at home you be grateful, and in workplace you be appreciative. So being grateful at home is the best gift, and being appreciative to others is the great gift which you can give. So appreciate. So listen. See, listening, two things you'll be establishing at the end of the day. One is that you have given an opportunity for the person to express his views, and at the same time you have understood what is his perception, and you have come to know what is the other perspective which you did not understand. So the same object, if it is looked from a different angle, it looks different unless it is a sphere. So maybe that you have not seen the correct perspective. So by listening from others, you will be able to realize that there is one more view of the same object. So people before profit, I've already explained. So that you create that particular thing whenever you are talking, whenever you are interacting with people, you always put people in the front than yourself. So it's a very good habit which I have, even I need to improve. But then it's all right sharing this particular idea. Self accountability and accountability towards others. So we have to be accountable to someone. First is, do you hire yourself? Whatever you are doing, if you have to hire yourself, if you have to pay yourself the amount you are expecting, do you really give yourself the same? Then you be accountable to others, accountable to maybe your boss or your goal. If you are the highest boss, then it is your goal. And of course, we all have bosses at home. So priority to important compared to urgent. So this I've already explained. So see, what I normally do is that when I go in the morning, I write down what are the work which I need to carry out for the day, and then assign them priorities. Initially, it will be, quite a few urgent jobs, but then I assign priority to some jobs which important, not important, and then I carry out important but not so urgent also is assigned the priorities, so that tomorrow I should not be working under stress. So exhaust all possibility to before saying not possible. See, whenever a job is assigned to you, you look for all options to resolve it. And if it is not possible, considering all the possibilities only, you go back and say it's not possible. Slicing the big task into smaller ones, which I've already explained, it is applicable to an individual also. Yeah. Now coming to the delegate wherever possible. See, most of the time what happens is that some perfectionists, people who want to get things done the way they want, land up doing all the jobs, which is also not correct because his time is not being utilized effectively. So what I would say is that, let's imagine a small situation where mother is dressing up the small child for the school. See, initially, we ask the child to get ready, and the child is not getting ready. The child is taking longer time. So what we need to do is that, what we normally do is that, we dress them up. In 5 to 15 minutes, the child is ready and you are happy, you are not late, and drop them to the school bus. But then, what we have forgotten is we have not taught the child how to get ready. So what we can do is that we can teach the child how to get dressed. You can be monitoring it. And at the end of, let's say, 1 week or 15 days, child knows how to get ready on its own. So that is how delegate wherever possible. Wherever you are not required, you need not be there. Now, this list goes on. You can choose. In fact, here what I would say is that let's keep the questions at the end. And number 2, you can use my presentation to present to others within your groups, within your team, within your friends. My presentations are all open for you people. There is no restriction here. You please use the PowerPoint presentation and please spread the message. Persistence. See, persistence can be created by periodic reviews by committees. As I've told you, multiple levels of committees taking care of periodic reviews. to evaluate what is your current situation, and that keeps you persistently looking at the whole thing. Now, I've already told you, exhaust all possibilities. See that it's not that you give up the task without try. I would not say trying all possibilities. You need not try all possibilities, but then you should have evaluated every possibility. Delegate wherever possible. See, why delegating work to others is because you can, if you free yourself from that particular job, you can work on a different challenging job. So it may be easy for you to do that particular work, but then if someone else can do it, you are free, and so that you can take up a next challenging job, or maybe a bigger challenging job than what you're doing. The same time, this one you are delegated, and at the same time you are working. So two multiple jobs being handled. So utilize the expertise. So this is how persistence also increases. You will continue to run longer because you are working with your team. And interaction within the group and between the different groups actually adds value to the overall system. So as a person or as an organization, we need to create an environment so that there is interaction within the group and between the groups. So it's not only that the people will become more attached because of the interaction. What I've seen is that sometimes the food or the coffee or tea is served to the table. I would say, that should not be the case. Coffee, tea tables, lunch tables are the places where you have an opportunity to discuss, and sometimes better to have some meetings for a cup of tea, meetings for lunchtime. You are casually discussing, but then your creativity comes out because of that. Then eating a big elephant, which I have already told you. So that is how you create the persistency. You become more persistent. Now you have done everything, all the P's, but you have not succeeded. Why that could be? One thing what we should realize is that when you assign time to a particular job, the time should be lesser than what is possible. Work-wise, we are taking more load. Time-wise, we are taking lesser than what it is required. So, see, if you assign more time for the same work, the work expands. You might have realized if you are going, if you are traveling tomorrow, you would have done more work today than any other day. That's because next day you are not available here. So work expands with time. 80-20 rule. So 20% of the people accomplish and most of the job, 80% of the job, and 80% of the people are required actually to do the 20% of the job. This we should realize. Not all people work 100% efficiently. Now, success has no shortcuts. And sometimes we think that it is a shortcut and it becomes the long way. So we should realize success is never a shortcut. Now, yeah, I'm yet to find a person who's not a melancholy and has succeeded. In the sense, one who is not systematic, but still he has succeeded. He or she has succeeded. See, it's always that we need to be organized. I'm not saying that you shouldn't relax or enjoy or do, but then things have to be put on paper, do it systematically, then the success comes. And if you're really you just want to lead life, it's fine, but then you want to lead a successful life, yes, we need to be a melancholy. Now, anytime you have reached a dead end, then nothing. Just go to the basics. Start redesigning your life, redesigning the way the organization started. Go back to the basics, and you will realize that somewhere it was derooted. Then that is why you are going to the dead end. So go back to the basics. I have said relax. Yes, sometimes relaxing is essential. Your mind also needs some rest. And the mind is more powerful, more effective when it is happy and relaxed, not under stress. So relax. So having talked about organizational success, I would like to emphasize on the principles of success. This is very difficult to believe, but then there are some principles. If you follow this, you will succeed. Surprising, isn't it? So I would recommend every participant to watch the movie The Secret. And if you are a reading person, please read the book. And normally one who likes the movie will read the book. And the one who reads the book will see the movie. So this is out of that book actually, and little extension to that. Have a dream. If you're an organization, what is it? What is the organizational dream? Dream is something which you dream when you're not sleeping, daydreaming. So in fact, a session can be conducted on how to dream. It is not dream big, it is dreaming right. How to find a proper dream. See, sometimes I would, in fact, I have been asked to write all my dreams in a book. By the time you reach 100 dreams, at one point of time, you will find that your eyes will water, and that's the right dream. Organizationally, I don't know how to explain this particular thing, but then for life, yes, you need to have a dream, and the right dream for you is found out by doing this particular exercise. Create a dream book, maybe in the form of visuals, maybe in the form of videos. And dream with a date is the goal. And when you're putting up the date there, setting a goal, take the advice of people who have succeeded. Take the advice of people who have interest in your success. And sometimes it is difficult to choose the person, but then you have ultimately a person who is always above you. That's the Almighty God. So believe in Him. Then coming to the strategy, based on your dream and the goal, work out a strategy. List them. What you have to do. What is the strategy you are employing Then the next steps comes the action. Action, daily deliberate action. You might not look, like that particular action, but then it has to be deliberate because ultimately you want to achieve that particular dream to that date, and you have strategized. So the action which you will be listing, even if you are willing or not willing, or raining, or it's COVID, whatever it is, do that action. So I call this principle as DGSA principle, and I have gone one more step. Visualize every step. Visualize before taking up the job that you have finished the job. When I watched that movie, The Secret, what I have seen that, the achievement has happened twice. You have succeeded twice. One is in the mind first, and then in reality. So visualize every step, every step. Initially, it is difficult to believe that visualization will give you success. But then try with with a cup of tea. Someone offering a cup of tea or coffee, with whatever you like, after this presentation maybe. Visualize. And big step. See, what I would say, whatever I am right now is all because of the DGSA principle, dream, goal, strategy, action, and the visualization which I practice. When I'm driving to my office, I visualize what all works I will be completing, what are the people I'll be involving, and then go there, and the same thing is repeated. So you are seeing the movie for the second time when you're in office. Same thing. So that's 6:46. I have finished my presentation, and don't just stop at being successful. If you are successful, you are too selfish. Become significant. Influence others. Be an example to others, and become significant. That's why we remember Mahatma Gandhi's date of birth, not the people who are successful financially. People who become significant are the people who have made many of us successful. Thank you. Now I'm open to questions.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you for the excellent presentation. I would not waste much time, and I'll just open up the floor for questions. Anybody has any query? I can go through the one which I typed, but it's a good opportunity if anybody want to ask directly. You can unmute, and the floor is yours.
Ali, what I suggest is first we'll let us finish the questions which you have typed, and then we go to the new questions.
Is
that okay?
Fine. Yeah, sure. That's fine. So we had one query from, I think, Utsab, which was about how to maintain balance between the strictness and flexibility. I think probably on your very first slide. What's the fine balance there?
Fine balance between?
The strictness and flexibility.
Okay. So somewhere you have to try. Normally we try with whatever intuition we have, and then if it is working, that's the right strictness. And then if it is not working, then add a little bit of flexibility there and see whether the result is positive or negative. So that is how we do it. So initially when I took charge of a particular division, I thought that strictly maintaining the time is a good thing to do. But then people are present, but we will not be working effectively. So give them little bit of flexibility, so that you are ultimately interested in finishing the job rather than, putting the people into stress and then finishing the job. So it's that it is an intelligent decision actually, which you will be able to do by doing mistakes initially.
Focusing on the outcome.
Yeah. And you are the better judge whether it is right or wrong.
Thank you. Probably that helps us up. Another one came, I think, was regarding how do we keep ourselves motivated every day? Now, this could be COVID, non-COVID, I think in all times probably.
Yes. See, go back to the basics. Go back to your dream. Go back, ask yourself what is that you want out of life? What is that you want today? See, that is how you keep promoting. And then you get associated with people who encourage you. You create that kind of, environment. See, they say that, tell me about your friends, I'll tell about you. Tell me what kind of friends you have, I will tell you who you are. It's like that. You create. That is what I do. Sometimes, I just go out. Sometimes I like lonely time also. That also encourages me.
Sure. Okay. No, thanks for sharing your perspective. The next one is from Ganesh. I don't know if I can do the right justice by reading that question. Ganesh, do you want to come out of mute and ask that?
Sure, I can try. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So my question is like, on the last slide there, you talked about the principle of dream, goal, action, and also the visualize part is interesting over there. My question is, there will be surprises, right? So how do you visualize surprises? And if there are no surprises, then are we really reaching the potential? So what do you do in those times?
First, accept the surprise. Number one. Once you accept the surprise, go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
You got my point?
I
You
think
will
so,
basically you try to cook a food,
Mm-hmm.
got spoiled. Doesn't mean that you stop cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that, okay, whatever I done, okay, this is where I failed. Maybe I put more salt, or maybe I roasted it more. So then what you need to do, okay, take the corrective action and then go back. See, if you are succeeding without any hurdles, I don't think you will be happy actually. Success with lot of hurdles will give you a lot of happiness at the end. You listen to any of those success talks. Have you ever heard a gentleman saying, every morning I used to get up and every day I was successful, and then at the end of 365 days, yes, here I am. No.
All right.
So there's this very cliche saying, sorry, but it says either I fail or I learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so, or maybe I said it wrong, but yeah, I mean, open to failure or open to things not going right is a very good leadership approach, I must say.
But then visualize will help you a lot there also. Somewhere you have a doubt that you will not succeed. That is what has created, because whether you call God or whichever God you believe in. See, the secret book or the movie, the principle says that there is no menu list. There is no menu list actually. When you go to a hotel, there is a list. Whereas here, you ask and you will get it. So when you are asking, you should not have any doubt in getting it. See, I want 99% marks. If I think I have not prepared for 99 marks. That is where the God says, yes, you are correct. While visualizing, visualizing happens with 100% belief in succeeding. So, one example he gives in that secret, he visualizes by sitting on a chair that he's driving a great car. So imagine as if you are being recognized for that particular success. So the more you visualize, every day you should visualize how much ever small it is. So you are basically reiterating your request.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Suresh ji, and thanks, Ganesh, for the question. We might have time for just one last question before I want to take the stage back from Suresh ji. Any last questions from anybody?
Ali, you had sent me some 3 questions which
yes,
a few days back.
Yeah, yesterday. Those are the questions asked by the participants before, via the Google form we gave it to them. Okay. So if no further question, then we also have Mr. Devesh joining us today. He's CEO of IIT Bombay Alumni Association. And Devesh, if you don't mind, I'd like to just invite you to say a few words and vote of thanks to Mr. Suresh.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Suresh, for a wonderful presentation and informative presentation. Most of you know what the IIT Bombay Alumni Association is. It's basically your alumni association. So the goal is to
put your video on, if you don't mind.
Just a second.
I'm more visual person.
Okay. Okay. Hi. So IIT Bombay Alumni Association was founded in 2001. It's basically to connect alumni together with each other as well as to IIT Bombay. And the way we work is we have chapters in India and other countries. So in India, Bangalore is one of the chapters, and it's quite active. So you guys have events quite often. So the idea is that each chapter organizes events locally in the geography. Of course, right now, because of the coronavirus, there is no physical events, but the chapters have adapted by doing virtual events. Besides events, we also organize reunions, and we also have some initiatives for students on campus. So, for example, there's a financial aid program, there's a hostel improvement program, and so on. So that's sort of in a nutshell is what IIT Bombay does. Again, thank you for organizing this event, and to the speaker for a wonderful presentation. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Devesh. We are still well within the time, with just 3 more minutes to go. So really thanks a lot, Sureshji, for taking out time to share your golden nuggets from your career so far with us. I think these are really useful. I do feel that a lot of us would take it back to our individual teams or peers and colleagues whenever we can use this and motivate people and ourselves get motivated. So I really thank you for that. And yeah, guys, that's all. I'm just checking if Smita is online. She is the president for our Bangalore chapter. I think we would definitely like to have a bit more of face-to-face sessions once situation permits us. Until that time, as Devesh mentioned, virtuals are happening, and that gives opportunity to not just connect with, that opens up the geographical boundaries. So we have participation from outside Bangalore, and that's the beauty of thing happening virtually. So yeah, I think that's all from my side. Smita, do we have you online? I guess not. Okay. That's okay.
think
she's not.
We thank Suresh sir for such a wonderful talk.
Yes, go ahead.
So maybe if in future, if time permits and we have the right audience, we'll have your talk on the people skills, which you said you at least 1 hour should be there. So and so our participants are really happy. It was a lot of positive comments are coming. So we will share our recorded video in our Bangalore chapter channel. Thanks for having us in this event, sir.
Thank you, Rijas.
Thank you, Sureshji, and thanks everybody else for participating. I think we call it a day, and you guys can go back to IPL. Whoever is interested in watching IPL, and have a good weekend.
Yeah. Thank you, Ali, and thank you, Devesh. Right. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sajid. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Ali, we can stop the recording, I think.